Suckership out there skating. Is there any further updates?
Yeah.
Any chance that he could play this season?
Not sure yet, but that was definitely the first step, and hopefully that went well. Haven't talked to the trainers on how he did, but it was the first step of getting out back on the ice, and I think just a little bit of progression there, and hopefully he can get back, with us practicing at least by then, if not playing.
How do you think Kaiser's handled the right side over the last 2 games?
Pretty good. I think there's times where he uses that skating ability so well, and he closes quick. I think just getting that next step. Now what's he going to do with it? Instead of holding on to it for a second and letting people close on him, just moving that puck just a little quicker. But that's everybody, all of our defense, and especially the younger guys. But you know what? I think he's a bright guy. He sees the ice well. So I think, playing either side, it doesn't really matter, and I don't think it should matter to me. And even a guy like Korchinski should be able to do that, because when you play on the power play, you're going to be over in that corner on the offensive zone anyway. So you got to be able to, have your body getting used to some reps of pulling pucks off the wall on your backhand and making it to your advantage, not a disadvantage.
With anyone transitioning from juniors to the NHL, especially Connor, though, you talk about the scheduling and how sometimes that's the biggest learning curve. Is there anything you have to be mindful of in terms of kind of watching him in his progression?
I don't think so. I think the dressing room will do that. I think we have great veterans in here, and that's part of their responsibility. And it's not even a responsibility that we give them. I think that's just naturally inherited, and that's there from older players. And it's you remember and see what the older players did for you, and now you're passing that on down the line. And I think we don't even have to say that to the older players. And I think a lot of the guys are young. They just follow the crowd. And I think we have a really good group of human beings and people in that room, not just hockey players. And I think that's I saw that last year, and I think this year it's continued and even grown. So I think what it is we're counting on them to kind of guide that way, and we like to kind of have our room run internally, and we just try and give them a good plan, I guess, hockey wise and schedule, and let them run with it.
Kind of piggybacking off what he said, per game, minute wise, I know you really haven't put any restraints on him to this point. Is that the same in the regular season? Just play it by game?
With Connor or with yeah, but it'd probably be the same with Korchinski and Kaiser, young guys, even Vlasic. There's going to be games when, if they're really going, we're gonna ride them just like we would anybody. And there's going to be games where Corey and Nick are going, and if we need something and it's at the end of the game, those guys will be going. We want to give opportunity to guys to grow as well, but there's also part of that growth is seeing someone do it right that's been in that spot before, and then obviously giving them a shot at it and learning at it as well. But that's our job, to figure out when and how that's the right time for those guys to have that. I had no problem putting Connor out at the end of the game, and he didn't ice the puck on an empty net. I think he was very shocked that the goalie was out of the net. He said he had to look twice, but I couldn't believe it. But but he did the right thing. He's not trying to make a play there. You just end the game, and that's what you do. You're not making buddies and padding someone else's stats. You're being a nice guy. You end the game. That's the NHL. You want to win.
You saw on Murphy's goal that Bedard's present on the ice alone is going to cause a lot more space on the back end. Are you preaching to those guys to be ready and be aggressive and take those shots? And are they excited for the possibility of more of those opportunities like you saw?
Yeah, that's one area we added in training camp this year was offensive zone faceoffs. I think we drew up 4 just as a start, because you don't want to have 10 and it's too overwhelming for a lot of young guys out there, and even the older guys. It's something simple. It's laminated. It's on the wall before the games, and same thing we do on defensive zone wins to exit the zone clearly. Everybody has a plan, and you have to follow that plan. So that one's perfect. He's a shooter off the wall. He's right-handed. It's very hard for someone to check that stick. Teams that play man-and-man, the D will never get to his stick if it's a clean draw. And we have our D coming down the backside. And maybe not too quick, just slowly. So if the weak side forward comes to him, what happens, it takes a little while for that other forward to get out to the D, to Murphy, and he has a little more time to load up and shoot that puck. So there's more than one option there. And if he kept skating, sometimes he can make a back pass to the strong side D on the wall as well. And, you know, I mean, there's just different options. So that works out well. But you're right, he's a dangerous threat. If you see him on the wall, it'd be like Ovechkin coming off the wall. Everybody's talking, who's getting to him? And you kind of forget about everybody else for a second, so they're open.
You think he, in a situation, you know, with a rebuild and all, where you can put a young guy in a high-pressure situation like a last defensive zone face-off without some of the veterans grumbling like, well, why is he in there?
You know, I mean, I think you have to, you know, manage who's playing well in the game. If he's playing well and you feel confident he's going to hold on to that puck and not give it away or not be able to get it out, then, you know, if he had a couple turnovers, maybe that's not the night that you try it. And he's not feeling confident and everybody else isn't feeling confident into him. Everybody plays a little bit back on their heels. I think if someone's really humming that night or going well and not just like scoring or anything like that, just making the right choices all the time, I think that's the night that they go. And I made that mistake once last year. I said Tyler Johnson was on the bench and he should have been on the ice. Like, I don't know how many times that we lost a draw and he gets out and he busts out and blocks a shot or makes the guy shoot wide. He knows how to win. And I think young players sometimes just even on the bench to watch something like that, that's how they learn. But then you do have to find the right time to give them the opportunity to try it as well.
After his first game, you brought up the face-off circle and somewhere that Lucas Reichel needed to improve in his last couple of games. The numbers have been a lot better. How have you seen him get more comfortable and progress as a center throughout the preseason so far?
Yeah, you know, I think just more reps and more time in that circle. You know, I think he's got to get a little bit more physically stronger. I think, and then just more reps in that circle is going to help him. You know, maybe when he's playing with let's say Tyler Johnson's out there, very strong in the face-off circle as well. Cheat like a little bit, and if you get away with it, great, you got the edge. And if you don't, you get thrown out, you know you have another guy that can go in there and be solid. I think that's part of it too, and I think part of it is referees give it a little leniency. They just do to veteran guys, so he has to earn that. It's going to take some time.
When you were playing, were you able to get physically stronger during the season, or was that more of an off-season?
No, I think every day practicing against, and I think that's, you got to have some battle in practice. So you're battling hard, and I know that's been cultures created and winning teams, and I know Boston talked about it a lot, Pittsburgh talks about it a lot, that their best players battle the hardest. So it forces you to battle harder, and it makes you better. And just those reps alone, I remember in junior, the first year, I felt I was a tall, skinny kid, not near as strong as the guys that are 3 or 4 years older than you. Every day you practice all week, you get stronger. And that's still happening with some of these guys here. So it has to be the will inside, and then it has to be a good plan put together, and you combine those two. And you know, Paul Goodman does a great job upstairs. So I think we implemented a little bit more of work after games, after practices upstairs in the gym together as a team. And I think that helps too. When I think it becomes contagious. You see a great player working his butt off in the gym after the game, and you know, you're 25, you think you got the world, you're made the NHL, and you're as best as you can be, or you're thinking you're just naturally going to get better in time. You're not. I think if you look at a 35-year-old working his ass off in the gym after a game to stay in the league and to stay at the top that he can, I think that's good incentive for other people to see and follow.
That routine after games, is it just home games, or?
Yeah, you can't really do it on the road, no. And we're out of there quick, and I think travel is so important to get rest as well. So there's a combination. We got to take advantage when we're at home, and obviously the schedule, we have to look at that. And today, I thought a shorter up and down the ice practice, that's the type of pace that we want to play in, just shorten the time period up. And every time we're on the ice, that's how we play. And then we try and take that little bit, even if it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes after a game when the bodies are warm, that's the best time to go and do 1 or 2 exercises in the gym and a little bike ride. And I think it's working well. I think the guys like it. If we can really capitalize and get another home win tomorrow, I think it's a better atmosphere in there, and they can pound the music, and they don't even know they're working another 15 minutes in a day. and they enjoy it, and I think it becomes a bit of a team bonding thing as well.